Welcome to Lil D TV. This month's episode is about space. Final frontier, or is it spaces? Denton is full of different spaces, pockets of groovy. And this month's episode is going to explore some of those spaces with our Denton favorites. Whoa. Hello. Sorry, too close? Space is an important boundary, and physical space is the first we're going to explore here around my favorite place, the downtown Denton Courthouse Square.
Walk sign is on.
So
This is the place to be right here.
I'm Braxton, and this is my girlfriend.
I'm Maddie.
And we like to just make music, and we came out here because we just feel like it's not right, but also we just want to show that not everyone's violent, that we're just out here just trying to create love, and that it's just about peace, and that this land's for everyone. And then I just think it's a shame that we're not inviting everyone, that we're not making enough room for everyone. You know, I just really enjoy all the anti-war movements, and especially I really like what they did about Vietnam and just kind of just saying how we don't need to be involved in everything. And I just feel like we can always just take a piece of that to incorporate on any protest, and it's just created about peace and love and not really about violence, but just call out something that's not right in a way that we can create more love from everyone and more acceptance.
It's all about don't have to be rich, be my girl. Don't have to be new my world. Ain't no particular side I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
I'll take
Yeah,
she's the woman.
yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Today we're having a protest against the regime that is trying to take the rights away from the American people, the right to their body, the right to who they love, the right to assemble even. We've already noticed that the sheriffs are walking through the protesters instead of being on the outside, so I think already they're being a little provocative today.
As the regime's military parade takes place in D.C., we rally to let our message be heard loud and clear. No kings.
Captured it. And today we have to make a decision. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the working men and women of this country? Are you on the side of the laborer? Or are we on the side of the richest man in the world, who was appointed by a man who anointed himself king to gouge working people of every social safety program that has been created for them to succeed?
I tried to give y'all a chance, like maybe the left isn't nuts. I was wrong, because y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all along. When a protest go hard, when the burn fights go long, but y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all that's
William Schwartz,
Okay.
Sergeant, former Sergeant, U.S. Army. I don't agree with this. You know, nobody is illegal, is wrong. We all came here, yes, but we all came here through a process. And that process needs to be followed. And the president is the president. That's the truth. He's not a king. I don't want to say I have a different perspective. I just maybe have a different way of looking at things. I've been on both sides. I grew up in Los Angeles, so I was the minority. And I know what it's like to be on that side. So, you know, this is not accomplishing anything. You know, this is more about communism than it is about actual movement. You know, Obama deported 10 million people, 5 million people, let's say. Obama ain't come nowhere, or Trump hasn't come nowhere near that, and they're already protesting it. No, this is about something else.
There are children and families present, and law enforcement is watching. If we are told to disperse, leave immediately.
As far as the LA riots, this isn't nowhere near there. The current riots happening in LA are very close, probably, to be honest, worse. We didn't have that many vehicles burning like they do now. But this has the potential to get there, especially in this area.
It's really easy to say that folks are being hyperbolic when you aren't the one being plucked out of your community, taken away from your families, and sent to jail for simply disagreeing with the status quo. Don't trust me, trust the police. You could see in Los Angeles when they put a statement out saying it was a peaceful protest until Trump and his goons decided to show up and make a mockery of the whole situation. We have an obligation to make sure that these folks in positions of power don't get to trample over us. We have a right to free speech, and you have no right to come in and tell us we cannot verbalize ourselves. We are going to be loud. We are going to be very strong in our opposition to what's happening until we take our country back. A lot of people standing around talking about don't tread on me. They need to make sure that they're walking that right now, because never in this country's recent history have we seen American citizens and legal residents of this country being treaded on in such a fashion.
1,500. JR, what do you think? Whip. Ask these guys. How many people do you think were here?
I really don't. I would say between 2,000 and 3,000, but
it's not 3. I can guarantee that. My name is Sandy Swan. I'm here with Indivisible Denton, who organized this event today. We're here in support of democracy and upholding the Constitution. I have yet to receive a check for protesting. And I've been protesting a long time. I'm old. Send me my check, please. I want my check.
This is the real Denton, and it's always been this way. It's always been a very grassroots organization until recently. I went to UNT in 1970, and during the Civil Rights Movement, I mean, this happened a lot.
Doesn't it feel good to be surrounded by all of these Democrats, all these liberals? This guy right here is the best conservative.
This is right in long line with what Denton feels. Denton is a very active political community. We believe in the public discourse. We believe in coming together and affirming or rejecting those things that we feel are helping or hurting our community. I'm happy to be a part of this. I've been to hundreds of protests over my life. Obviously now as an elected official, I come to support. I'm not necessarily the person who's leading the protest, but I think it's important for me to be here not just as a council member who represents 164,000 of the greatest people in North Texas, but also just as a citizen.
Thank you everyone for coming out today to exercise your First Amendment rights with us. Be sure to keep your program as it has important info about upcoming events on the back. If you haven't received the program,
it's up to you.
Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me.
God hates you, dumbass. Face it.
Himself, we do not pray for the world, but we pray this Christ. We'll open that door. He said that he will be.
We're just out here sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ and just spreading his message that he saves, heals, and delivers from sin and, sickness and disease. We're local to Denton. We go to church up at VWO, Victor World Outreach on Ganser and I-35.
When you walk in among the infidels of this world, Jesus said it himself, will have everlasting life.
That is for an eternity. The Bible continues to say,
there's a lot of lost people in this world. People are bound by sin, drugs, alcohol, fornication, pornography, and we're just out here to share that they can be set free by Jesus Christ. There's quite a few every week that come up to us. We have pushback too, but that's part of sharing the gospel. Not everybody's going to like it because it hurts and it cuts deep. But, that's what we're out here for. We're not out here to cause, strife or contention. We're just out here to share the message. But it does hurt sometimes whenever we're confronted with our sin. And, that's the Bible even says that. The Word of God is like a two-edged sword, and it cuts deep. And so, that's why we get pushback sometimes. But that's all we're out here to do is love on people. We're not here to hurt feelings or whatever. We're just out here to share that Jesus Christ can set you free from whatever you're bound by.
To be used as a distraction in order to keep you away from what God is trying.
Well, it's a community of believers. It's where the Bible even says where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, He's in the midst of us. So we're out here just sharing and fellowshipping together, and sharing our testimonies with people as they come by also. And so whenever you got somebody standing with you, it's always better. And and it's just that shows that they have your back, and God has our back also. Well, for me, whenever we come out here and share the gospel with other people, it encourages me. Like if I'm going through something in life, it's better for me to come out and share what God did for me and share my testimony with others on how God set me free. And so that's what it does for us. It encourages us whenever we see others come to Christ and we just share the gospel with them. Because that's what the gospel does to us also. It sets us free, and it just encourages us on a daily basis to share it with others.
Over into the kingdom of God.
Remember this hat?
Well, why in the hell would I remember a hat?
You were the hat.
Now, I would be worried about having that camera right on the credit card here.
The tree squirrels of North America. Is common to the north. The diet of the northern fox squirrel includes the seeds and nuts of almost any tree that grows within its territory. Oak, hickory, birch, all provide food that helps fatten the fox squirrel and see it through the winter. Like certain other squirrels, the northern fox buries surplus nuts and acorns for winter feeding. When the harvest is good, a squirrel may hide 40 or more in an hour, and thousands through the autumn months. This store of food is really communal. The squirrel doesn't remember where it did its burying. When the time comes, it will simply use its excellent sense of smell to find whatever it can find. Some of the store will be enjoyed by others who are not so provident. Calcium fix are its natural habitat. The Delmarva fox is listed by the United States government as an endangered species. What's this? An intrusion? But surely there's plenty of tree to share with a rose-breasted grosbeak. And the future has brightened for this unique member of that charming and diverse fraternity, the tree squirrels of North America.
Space. Intellectual, emotional, philosophical space. Spaces to occupy. Spaces to embody. Vis-a-vis dreaming, wanderings, a sense of place. This is the next space we're going to explore.
Well, the city of Taylor is having a Pride Month celebration, and it's downtown tonight. The festival follows the mayor's decision not to sign a Pride proclamation for the first time in 5 years.
A transgender woman brutally attacked in Texas last month.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
So we originally planned to have a rally, but it was going to come before an official proclamation. As the city of Denton, you can submit a form and say, this month we are asking for it to be proclaimed as XYZ. And so we said we want June to be LGBTQ plus month, which has been a thing in the past in Denton. And so we submitted the form early May within the deadline and planned to have that be our first event. We were super excited. And then we got notification at the end of May, so shortly before the meeting was supposed to happen, that the mayor declined to sign off on the proclamation. We didn't get a reason or explanation. We heard it from the staff also. So we were like, well, I guess this is going to turn into a protest instead, because that's not great.
This opening event was intended to be a celebratory time to proclaim June as Pride Month in the city of Denton. But as it turns out, our mayor has denied our request despite a prior proclamation approval made in 2022. Exactly. We will never forget the roots of pride. We'll never forget the resilience and resistance of our community. And we will not forget this insult made by Gerard Hudson.
And these proclamations by the mayor are done regularly at city council meetings. Almost every time you go to a city council meeting, the mayor will be making a proclamation of some sort.
A proclamation is actually a very low lift for a mayor or a city to indicate how they feel about constituents or what they think is important. Not going to change any laws. It's only going to support people in the community and knowing that the people in power where they live support them. And because that was denied, we knew how it felt to us as a board in Pridenton in a time when trans rights are being revoked and people are scared, and we wanted to make sure that people in Denton were able to have their voices heard. So we rename the proclamation the People's Proclamation, because we don't need the city to tell us that we belong here in Denton.
Yes, indeed, we need one, but there's none very much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
It's not closed. Nobody, regular people in homes, nobody knew who their council member was.
We're using our time today to emphasize that we will not allow this injustice. The people proclaim June as Pride Month in Denton. See, that wasn't difficult. We're not asking for much. An official recognition is a powerful and necessary symbol in Texas, especially amidst today's political climate.
They feel their community does not see them for who they really are. It is lived by trans teenagers who fear that their lives.
Question for the speaker.
Statement of fact, Mayor, I hope it could be a little latitude. I want to say it's a statement of fact that it takes a lot of courage for those of you who are here just to openly be who you are and love who you love.
State your, if you could truncate your statement of fact to succinctly state what you need to say without the.
I know I don't speak, I'm confident to speak for others. And that I see you, I appreciate what you contribute to the fabric of Denton, and I celebrate Pride Month with you.
I will say, I have been an active member of the community in Denton for a long time, and particularly the activist community. And what I'll say is that knowing that something awful is happening or that our community is being targeted.
How can a council majority call to lower the number of beds in the city shelter without thinking of the beautiful life and violent death of Girlie, the 22-year-old trans woman violently murdered in Denton on July 23rd, 2024, just last year?
Like that really, it does weigh on like your psyche and your emotional well-being. But being able to just like, this awful thing happened, let's meet at this place, and like knowing that there's gonna be people there who are gonna hold me and like, not just physically, but emotionally, and hold space for all the pain that we're feeling, while also laughing our butts off. Like, we have a good time. Like, that is so important. I think you might notice, like, even today we're here at Miss Angeline's, we've run into a few folks that we already know from the community. It's just it's so comforting and empowering to know that, like, that there are safe places here where we don't have to worry about, like, necessarily being discriminated against. Like, that is so important and so valuable to us as a community.
I'd like to talk to the manager.
He's right there. What's all this noise?
Oh, baby. Our school decided not to ban drag per se, but to pause it. Whatever they...
I'm gonna go start getting ready. There's no one here right now, so you should be good to film. Cool. But once performers start getting in, obviously it's performers only. Yeah. You'll end up finding out that a lot of my drag boils down to I put on something nice and I go dance on stage for about 3 to 5 minutes.
You're a good singer. Come here. You have TJ hair on your face.
Hi. Oh, this is Mindy. Okay, wait. Let me. Yeah. I'm Phoenix Dynasty, but you can call me Dynasty if I like you, which I like everybody. So there you go. We are doing the Denton Daddies show at Lucky Lou's today. I think it's very timely considering we just had the No Kings protest. And the slogan that's been going around in the community lately is No Kings but Drag Kings. We're doing the Lucky Lou's drag show today. There's going to be a Pride event every weekend in June. So, and it's free to get in. It was like, especially if it's you're over 21 and you're trying to get some good times.
it'll start here in a little bit. Once it starts, they got it. My name is Mindy Arndt. I'm the event coordinator at Lucky Lou's. Part-time, I also do some other things. I love this bar. It's the bar I met my husband at. He proposed to me here. Like, this bar means a lot. I feel like I grew up in Denton in this bar. Just the people, the community is great here. And so the first thing I told Lou was like, let's do drag brunches or like drag shows, let's go. And he automatically was like, I love that, let's do it. So yeah, we've been doing drag shows here either monthly. For June, we do it every weekend of June because it's Pride. We've built a great little community here. People know it's safe here, which is important to make sure that with the uneasiness of this world, that you have safe little pockets that you can go to, that we will protect you and all of that. So yeah, it's just, we've tried to curate a safe place for everybody, but especially for our LGBT community.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can be gay and homophobic. You in Denton, Texas. Yes, you can. Ready for some amazing drag kings? We are lucky tonight to have the amazing Phoenix D. I adore this next performer. I honestly feel like they are my little brother. I have 2 of them. Fuck them. I like this one more. Make some noise for the one and only Phoenix D. Nasty.
When we put ourselves on stage, although that is a form of joy, it's also a form of protest. You can't erase me.
Not even just protest, but also art.
It's art.
It's an
like,
art form.
There's
full of
color.
different kinds of drag as well. Like, it's not just, oh, you're gonna go out and lip sync. No, there are different kinds of drag.
I think drag can be threatening because it opens up a door, a portal, or whatever you want to say, to a piece of yourself that not everyone's okay with in themselves. I think everything is personal, from the hilarious to the sexual to the meaningful. It is a piece of you that you are opening up, putting right on the table and saying, enjoy it. And a lot of people don't get that chance. I don't think they're afraid of it so much as they're not given a place to do it. They don't feel comfortable doing it. So seeing others do it is scary. They go, no, I can't allow that to be normal and beautiful in my world because it's a little too close to home. But it should be. And that's the moment. Drag can be that thing for somebody who says, wow, I feel better after seeing that.
All right, so we're gonna have a little twerk off, and your sister's gonna go first. Hit it up. You don't need to have an ass to have a good job at twerking. I promise you. I've seen people with absolutely no ass just throwing something back, and I'm like, get it. Once upon a time, and I heard that I was ugly.
People like to paint drag as this like inherently sexual thing, but honestly, it's just a like over, what's it called? An exaggeration. It's an exaggeration of femininity. It's an exaggeration of being masked. It's an exaggeration of just being a creature.
It's one of those things where you feel comfortable in a space where there are people that are like you or similar to you in certain circumstances that are going through the same things as you. Hi, my love. Oh my God, that shirt almost made me cry.
We're not gonna find these spaces otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, we have to create these spaces ourselves, and it's important that we do. That's what gets me is like the minute you see a space that is not specifically for you, it's something you say we don't need. But I guarantee you walk into a Bass Pro Shop. As soon as you have a space that you automatically see is not for you, you suddenly, oh, we don't need it. Okay, you have your own spaces. I'm not allowed in there. I'm gonna get my ass beat.
That's my baby. I'll make some noise
I am very new to the drag scene. That was my second time performing ever. Yeah, lucky losing. I was able to perform my first time back in February. And it was important to me because I lost my dad. This will be the second Father's Day without him. And he never got to meet Max. He knew his daughter, and he loved his daughter. And I am every bit of as good as I am as a human because of him. But he never got to meet the son that he raised. I lost him to cancer, and by the time it was taking hold, he was gone. But I did get to say goodbye, and this was for him. This was that moment for everybody who didn't get to say, I love you, Dad. For everyone who never heard, I'm proud of you, love, Dad. And that was the slips of paper I was handing out. Those were handwritten notes that said, I'm so proud of you, love, Dad. Because everyone deserves that. Again, anybody and everybody, we make mistakes, but you deserve for someone to be proud of you. And if I made anybody feel that today, then my job is done. Because I feel proud to just be here every day. Thank you all, and in case you need to hear it today, I am so proud of every one of you. Love your dad.
If we didn't have these spaces, we'd be having them in our homes, we'd be having them in our basements, you know what I mean? We're just now getting to the point where we can do this shit freely, and now they're trying to put us back in the closet. We're not going back. I'm not going back.
I'm damn sure not going back.
For real, I'm not going back to that shit. Why?
I fought where I wanted to be today, and I am not doing that shit anymore.
Have you ever been inside a closet? It's cramped as hell in there. Especially with all the clothes. Absolutely not. Our closet specifically.
Well, we have three questions. 1, where did these clothes come from? 2, are you hiring? And 3, what is the scent in here? Those are the 3 top questions.
We keep all those answers on hip.
Yeah.
The clothes just mainly come from 2 different places right now. We do buys from the community, and the other half is we have a few different warehouses called rag houses across the country. Rag houses are kind of like the final place clothes go before they're sent to the landfill forever. So we have people that are picking out of those, and then they send us big bundles of clothes, and we have to figure out which piece is gonna go where.
This is Old Bear on the Square. I'm Becca Burns. I'm one of the co-owners. Garrett.
Yeah, I'm Garrett. I'm one of the managers here at the Square location.
We came up with a name probably back in 2017. My partner's teddy bear, old teddy bear, was just sitting there, and we just needed a name for our eBay store, which is how we originally got started. Yeah, we kind of started selling like TV and movie memorabilia because we were living in LA. Noticed that like estate sales, people weren't touching the clothes, and then we started selling vintage clothes online. We moved to Texas, and we moved to Denton in 2019, and we were still online. And then we originally popped up inside Aura Coffee in 2021. And then we've been growing ever since.
Probably, I've made a little art section hanging on the bottom half of the wall right there. Like there's just some really unique one-of-one pieces over on that wall right there.
Yeah. Save our oceans, and then it's reversible. Shoot. And yeah, this thing's crazy. I grew up in LA, and sometimes I'll say something to a friend like, oh, that was so like 2007, and they're like, no, I think it's more like 2010, and then I realized that like it maybe took like 3 years to get to Texas.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really social media.
Sure.
We were getting close to 30, and we're like, we're never gonna be able to afford a house here. We were working corporate jobs and just kind of like didn't really see a future in that. Felt like our soul was being sucked away. So we kind of just wanted to start our own business, and my partner's sister lived nearby, and she was like, I think you guys would like Denton. And we literally just moved here blind, like it'd never been. And we fell in love immediately. And honestly, like the first time we went to the square, we obviously went to Beth Marie's, we got ice cream, and we're just walking around, and we both were like, man, it'd be awesome to have a store here one day. I don't know, I mean, we've always felt at home in Denton. Even from like the minute that we walked into Aura Coffee, we were just like, I think we're gonna fit in well here. My partner and I are gay, so that we're you know. Oh, I mean, yeah, like there are definitely times where I like realize that I'm in Texas, but I really feel like Denton is a bubble. You know, like I've felt more comfortable in Denton than in places in Los Angeles, truthfully. Like I feel like being in Denton, like we can be out and comfortable. You know, like we work with Pridenton, and we've done a lot of things with them. And
I just moved to Denton probably in the past year or so, and just through working on the square and while living here, I've just seen like Denton just breeds creativity.
Yeah, he even, my favorite thing is he was just like talking to a customer one day, and then that customer invited him into his band. Like, so he's just like in a band because he just struck up a conversation.
Through being on the square.
Yeah, which is just like cool.
It doesn't get more Denton than that.
Yeah.
July 4th, we have karaoke night. Then we have the Talk to Me on July 11th at 7 p.m. That's based on the A24 movie Talk to Me. We have A Dog's Point of View on July 18th. And then on July 25th, we have CD and cassette night. And then finally on July 26th, we have our annual Can Olympics Field Day. It's the Olympics for cannabis. It's gonna be awesome. Come on out.
Honestly, I think in a lot of ways I look at it from a personal lens and then a political lens. And so personally, I see all of these communities that we have in Denton that have a lot of grit and toughness and really care about their causes, really care about their community. And they do a really good job at manifesting that kind of familial relationship. And it manifests itself in a lot of different ways. There are whiskey clubs, you have Pride Denton, you have Decriminalized Denton, that's brought in its own community. You obviously have our musical talent, and how close-knit of a community that is. So I see that we have all these community spaces, but I can't help but look at it from a political lens to see how things have changed in the past 20 years that I've been here, and how a lot of that has been ruined by the political nature of, and yeah, I mean, for me, you guessed it, our council. And so I don't even know where to start on it. An obvious example, like a few weeks ago with the Pride Proclamation at City Council. Regularly, Pridenton has brought forward resolutions, and the mayor has always declared Pride Month. All of a sudden this year he doesn't want to. Wanted to be divisive about it, did not want to be inclusive towards our own community. And so, like we see with this community, council has been disrespectful at best, gaslighting at worst. You can look at something like our music scene. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, we had things like Oaktopia, 35 Denton, North by 35, and there were thousands and thousands of people that would come to the square, and we would have the most amazing musicians. A lot of local ones, but then we would also bring in the Mountain Goats. We'd bring in the Flaming Lips. We brought in, I think her name's Solange, which is Beyonce's sister, and we'd have all of this stuff. The city would help fund some of that, and that funding is dried up. People are building it themselves, and I never want to discount that because the people themselves are doing it, but the government or our council isn't helping. You look at the downtown square, you had Pascal and Andy's, and sure, we still have Pascal, but it's been bought out by Radical Hospitality that owns 4 other businesses on the square, and it's this big monopolized conglomerate that lacks culture and soaks up our economic resources and sometimes doesn't even work. But you look at J&J's that had their underground venue that was packed almost every single night. They couldn't afford to stay here. And so you have a lot of places that are closing down because the rent's too damn high. And so like you look at that kind of systemic failure and how we could have had more community brought in by tax resources that no one has access to because it's confusing and difficult. It's not that, it's not that the funding's not there, but that all of the bureaucracy and red tape makes it hard. I blame it, and then I'll stop talking. I blame it on the dysfunction on council. And I know that for some people that might like really sound like a stretch, but it's not. You have such dysfunction on this council that if someone you don't like brings up an idea, you just vote against it. You just don't do it. And it goes both ways. Not a single person up there has not been guilty of that. You're voting against boards and commission nominees just out of political retribution because you don't like them. Like, that stuff matters because it impacts the kind of financial decisions that we make, which ultimately do impact community. Again, that's how we can improve that stuff. It bums me out. And I'm trying to just draw this connection with the communities that we do have and the people that lead them. I just really wish that we had a council that supported that vision. It'd make it feel more like home. I feel like that was terrible.
Even tiny spaces can do big things. Spaces to occupy, spaces to inhabit, spaces to create community, both physical and virtual.
Where do you go when you want today's hottest dance hits?
And I'll get them to remove.
It can be a lot of fun though, it really can.
Oh, yeah.
Making people sound good can be a lot of fun. I think everything is hooked up right. We're about to find out. Oh yeah, no, I want to know if I hooked it all up right the first time. I almost never get it the first time. You already got everything set up?
Sit on it, literally any.
All right, howdy. I'm Ricky B. Today we're getting a few DJ crews together and just really kind of showing what we do here as DJs here in Denton. You know, and my crew, Sub Ninjas, we've been kind of doing it off and on for years, you know, before and after COVID. And honestly, this is the first time that all three of us have worked together, these crews today, but yeah, we...
Now we just need Cody ready.
I don't know, I kind of lost myself. It's just trying to line it up where you feel like it sounds the best. See, and here's where the vocal thing will come into play. We got the vocals. We're gonna turn it off for this song. Okay. See, they're still both playing, just no vocals. Like it just makes it that much more fun. So like even like if I'm doing a kids gig, I can like let's say there's like one bad word in the song, you can just like turn it off right there in that song, you know. So it's really convenient.
Once you enter a flow state, the way it feels like is just, you're going into the move that just feels right. It's a little hard to explain, but you're not deliberately making that decision of, I'm gonna go into this trick. It just feels like my body is pushing me this way, so this is just where it feels natural to go into. And that I think what really defines that flow state again is that just absence of thought. But you know, you just kind of swim with it. You let the currents take you where it goes. And, you know, sometimes that's where you get your best inspiration.
I do like to feel like I'm helping to provide a space for other people to feel comfortable. You know, because my biggest thing is I come from the fire scene, the flow scene and stuff, and I want to be able to provide a judgment-free dance space and just a space for people to feel comfortable doing what they do, you know? As long as you're here and you want to do something safely and you're not being a jerk, you know, that's really what I try to help provide here.
And let it take me. It really depends on what a DJ was playing. But I really like what Nick is playing. He's a good friend of mine. You know, a lot of very powerful, strong stepper, dub, reggae music. You know, only by playing it, you kept the culture alive.
It really, I don't know, it's really good, especially in these timings where I feel like people are very socially isolated and don't get out of their house too often. Maybe they're real glued to their phones, I don't know, terminally online. It's nice that there's this gathering that's consistent and, you know, it gets a lot of people from the community together and, you know, we all just exchange ideas. I don't know, I think it's what's special about here in Denton is just we're like a very tight-knit community, so.
Hail Midgard, home to the Landwives.
That works.
still long enough. Hi, Timmy.
It's okay.
This thing can.
Oh, that's why he wouldn't eat anyone with tattoos. Got you. Okay, I didn't realize it was dog. Jeez.
A whole lot of what we do is kind of trying to bring back the traditional values, the traditional morals, and kind of that how we handle ourselves on a day-to-day basis. No, we don't, go burn villages and pillage anymore. That's not really our thing, but we do strive to be better and more today than what we were yesterday. And that's through, learning and knowledge and sharing the stories that have already been passed down for hundreds of years. Well, we are your Mong and all, and we have a. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine.
We've been around for about 8 years now. We started in March of 2017. Wow, Jimmy is distracting. I mean, I found the whole Norse culture thing when I was a young teenager, and what really brought me to it is that I'm not ever gonna be judged. That impending doom of being judged in other religions, that's a heavy weight and a burden to bear that only, it doesn't make any sense as to why it would even be there. There are laws and rules and everything, but they're more based on your personal growth and your relationship with the people around you. And that tight knit, I can trust anybody that's in this room to be there, and they have been.
The only thing that we particularly do not allow is the white supremacist kind of kindred, more or less, that you find within the community, because there is an unfortunate undertone of that within our community. So we have to be sure that we're outspoken about things that we just don't agree with. So racism, sexism, anything that would more or less put someone in a position lower than us is just not acceptable.
That feels like a lot of reading.
It is a lot of reading, but I wanted to just bring in and touch base with that everything and everybody does have a place and a purpose, and we may not know what that is in ourselves, but through time.
I think that's where it differs with paganism in general, but also heathenry from Abrahamic religions, is that there is no expectation that just because we do something wrong, we'll be forgiven. If we say, oh, I'm so sorry, I repent, please save me. It's like, no, our gods are like, nah, you can save yourself. You get yourself into this mess. We'll show you how to get out of it, but we're not going to save you. Like, you have to put in the work. You got to do something.
Yeah, Go Zone's terrible.
We invite you into our hall to share in the comforts we provide to others and to give thanks for the coolness of night you grant to us. I mean, for me, it's one of those where there's not this unattainable perfection or state of perfection that you're trying to reach as you do with things like Christianity, where you're supposedly trying to reach perfection when in reality, even our gods aren't perfect. Our gods make mistakes. They've done things that led to their own downfall, and it's our responsibility as their followers to learn from not only their mistakes but our own mistakes and humanize ourselves and allow us to be kinder to others.
We aim to build a heathen community that is supportive, reliable, and all-inclusive, welcoming those of all backgrounds, ethnicity, sexuality, gender, and self-expression. As a whole, we build our practice on reciprocity.
Where do you need a spot?
I'm gonna need a spot, yeah.
Grab back in your chair.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Door.
Where'd you go?
There we go.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we are small, so our diversity is a bit on the lacking side right now, but we're always open to people of, like you said, all backgrounds, all creeds, all sexual orientations. We have many members that are part of the LGBT community, be they trans, gay, bisexual, asexual. So
Yeah, it's all across the spectrum.
all across the spectrum. We don't disagree, we don't discriminate against ability or disability of any kind, because at the end of the day, even in our text, it specifies that people who are disabled in some way can be useful to the community. So it's just a way about giving them strength where people see weakness.
Supporters of Texas hemp industry are urging Governor Greg Abbott to veto a statewide ban on consumable THC products.
A bag of this tonight?
The industry isn't going to go away. It's just going to go into the shadows. And the people that are making a living out of it legitimately aren't.
The biggest blessing in this business is that I've been able to build an amazing team of very talented, skilled, and smart people that love their job.
Ow, now brown cow. Ow, now brown cow.
All that yapping.
Love to yap. My name is Hayden Meek, and we just got a veto from the governor on the SB3.
He vetoed SB3, which would have put a complete and total prohibition on all hemp-based consumable products and anything that had THC in it.
So THC is in better hands than it was before.
On the other side of that veto, we are celebrating the ability for Wild Revival to continue to operate in the state of Texas.
We've been lobbying for this stuff for a couple sessions now, and they just keep turning it down.
It was magical. It was awe-inspiring, and if anyone is ever frustrated with what they see is the lack of government listening and being beholden to the constituency, I would point to it. Because when you get enough people really upset about something like this, you can affect change, and affect change at the highest levels.
My team, they put a lot of faith in me whenever they decide to work for me, whether they're just a part-time employee or they're someone who quit their corporate job to come work for me because they just enjoy their coworkers. And it's scary. It is not lost on me that some of my employees are scared of this. And so I just feel like as the leader, I need to give them every opportunity to be able to affect change as much as possible.
Yeah, I get how David and Goliath ended, but it doesn't feel like that when you're in the middle of it. It feels like it feels like you're in quicksand, and the more movement you make, the quicker you sink. And I'm glad that this David versus Goliath story turned out like a David and Goliath story, really and truly.
So whenever you put in this huge amount of work fighting for your viewpoint and fighting for what you're trying to do, just to see it pay off is incredible. It felt like climbing Mount Everest.
I did some stuff to help this push this movement. But the real leadership in this locally was Hayden Meeks and his family over there at Delta 8 Denton. I am proud to be associated with those guys because those guys did work.
I'm not going to give Greg Abbott too much credit because I still got problems with the guy. I'm very thankful he vetoed the bill, and but at the end of the day, we did that, right? He vetoed it because of what we told him. We wrote 7,000 letters and 150,000 petitions, and we put that on his desk, and he said, oh shoot, I better do this. We kind of put him in a position where it's like, you know, do this or we're not going to vote for you. Maybe that's democratic. If that's democracy, honestly, we should do that a little bit more.
The community that we have found through our struggle and fight against SB3, again, thanks, Dan Patrick. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without you.
Don't run off. The show will be right back.
Here's the thing about Denton.
When you show up in Wise County and Denton County, you cannot but be inspired.
Uplift their drag. What do we do?
Are we going to stand and fight, or are we going to surrender?
It doesn't get more Denton than this.
Are we going to stand and fight, or are we going to...
My name is Julie Glover. I am a moderator for Denton Downtowners.
My name is Chasten Michael Rankin, and I am the admin and creator of Denton Around Towners. Well, I've been in Denton coming up about 18 years.
My husband and I moved here from Dallas in 1982. I was a bartender and a waitress and, you know, kind of bummed around doing that stuff for a while. We both are musicians. I was the manager of Locust Street Grill. When I left that job, I went to work for the Denton Main Street Association as the assistant Main Street manager. And so I was with the city then for 23 years, and I became the Main Street manager, which kind of morphed into the downtown development director, head of the Historic Landmark Commission for about 10 years. I managed the tax increment refinance zone. I did the Texas Music Friendly City, Texas Film Friendly designation. We won a bunch of awards. So I've been in and involved with downtown for a long time, probably longer than most people who are members of Denton Downtowners have been on the earth.
We're getting close to about 55,000.
There's over 69,000 people in this group, so it's like trying to manage a small city.
Well, I want to be like a free-for-all and let everybody say and do what they want. But unfortunately, if you do that, you can get the group shut down because some people just don't act right.
Every few minutes, it pops up that there's like 5 people that wish to comment for the first time.
There's 400 to 500 posts a day. There's thousands of comments a day.
If you answer the questions, which are really easy, what's your favorite downtown business and are you going to abide by the rules? I usually just hit approve and we go on.
And so it takes our members coming together and being like, hey, that's not right, and stuff like that. And far more often than not, does good overpower evil, if you will.
I would say 98% of the time that I say decline is because I haven't answered the membership questions.
There's a lot of connecting, there's a lot of networking, there's a lot of camaraderie, but unfortunately there's a lot of hate as well.
I think the anonymity of it, even if your name is up there, but it's somebody you don't know, it's easier to kind of, you would say something to a stranger on Facebook that you would never say to somebody in person to their face. And I've even had this happen with my oldest sister. My oldest sister we have very different political views, and she posted something once that really just hurt my feelings, and I called her out on Facebook about it. And because it's like, yeah, I'm your sister, you're talking about me. And she said, oh, I didn't mean you, I meant those other people. And I'm like, but I'm those other people. But if it had been a stranger, we probably just would have, sparred back and forth and made both of us mad.
In public, you say something sideways and something bad might happen to you, but you say something sideways or, blue online, and unless you break one of the few rules, there really is no repercussion.
I think a lot of people take out their frustrations online. And when I worked in the restaurant business, that would happen as a server. People would come in and they'd be arguing with their spouse, and all of a sudden it became my fault. Maybe people don't feel like they have any power, and when they get online, they can be rough and tough and big bad guy, or gal.
If you put 55,000 people into one room, it takes a sports arena. You put 55,000 people online and you don't even have to have a room for them. It's just a much easier way to distribute information, good and bad. It spreads misinformation like wildfire, and the truth usually sits there and just awaits somebody to say, hey, look at me. But
I feel like we're more divided right now than we ever have been in the history of maybe the world, but especially this country. Everything's so black and white, and honestly, I know people that are completely cutting people out of their lives over social media stuff.
Now, don't get me wrong. I will say there has been way more good from the page in actual reality. Now, in virtual reality, Facebook, there's a lot of hate. But you'll get on there and somebody will say something about seeing a homeless person over there, and just like that, somebody's over there giving that homeless person some food.
I have seen people reach out for help, and just everybody gathering together, and here's some food pantries, here's a list of the pantries in town, and I mean, just really wanting to help somebody in need. Somebody who just moved here, somebody who's having a hard time.
They're helping them with their families. People all the time on there, they be reporting posts asking for help. And we are never gonna shut down somebody needing some help, because that is a blessing through social media, that there's in an instant 55,000 people can say, hey, this person needs help.
So those are the really good things that happen. There's always that one person, that's got to say, get a job, or get off your ass and go do something. So, but for the most part, I think people are truly kind and generous in their heart. There's always at least one.
But for the most part, we look at all these people, we make sure it's not somebody that's trying to scam our members, because we don't want that. We want our members to give because they've got a giving heart.
But I really think if we sit down and talk to each other, like you would talk to each other face to face, you're sitting with somebody at Tunes and you don't know them and they have a cute dog and you start talking about the dog, their politics could be totally opposite of yours. But in that moment, you're just talking about a dog and you're getting along. So I think that human connection is what's missing online, that people don't take the time to find the common ground, I guess is what I'm saying.
It's really been nice. I know my wife doesn't like it very much because I do have to be on it moderating a whole lot. It's a thankless thing, but it's fun for the most part. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. I'd just archive the thing and let everybody scramble, but I do care about it.
I think the pace of life for everybody is faster. We're multitasking, we're doing stuff all the time. We got a phone in one hand and a computer in the other hand. And, just trying to do it all at once. And I think that things like Twilight Tunes and festivals and events downtown let people sit down and relax and enjoy what we've got, this amazing history that we've got downtown, this wonderful business district that we've got downtown. Just gives people a chance to kind of take a breath.
Yeah, you find Lil D things, man. Yeah.
Very own coaster.
My man, thanks. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Lil D TV. Remember, like them, follow them, and even donate and help support your local television network, the Lil D TV. Thanks for joining along, and we'll see you next month.
Tito Strange. I'm Maverick Lawson. We're just a couple musicians. We made an album together. Now we're just out here in Denton to busk because it's the best spot to busk and trying to make some money in the area.